Hey, Scott, it looks like you're hard at work. I know you've been
Oh
updating
my
me on your
gosh.
storyboards, and it's like, are
Jeez.
you digging it, or is it like,
I am digging it. I am digging it. I'm in the home stretch, thankfully, because this project is due 4th of July, dude.
yeah, that's
And
not
and
long.
and the guy that's putting it together is so let me explain for the audience.
Okay.
Uh I am working I think I've talked on the show about I know a guy or I met a guy who is working with an organization called Technotainment, and they're doing basically multimedia streaming content, and it's all spearheaded by one of the guys that started MTV. And so the guy that I know, I met, and he's like, "I want you involved in this," and I have sent off. Uh, I've sent my portfolio. I've sent video actually to the main guy, and the main guy is like, I want him involved. So at Memorial Day, the guy that I know, his son did a video about Memorial Day, and so he asked me, he goes, "Let me know what you think about it," and I said, or he said, "Let me know what you would do different." And so I he said, well, he said, "Look at this," and he said, "Well, tell my son." His son was the one who did it. He said, "Tell my son." So I met with him, and I said, "Well, I think you need a story." That's been my take all along. Is like I need to be on this as a story guy.
Mm-hmm.
He had a video of images that pertain to Memorial Day, but didn't tell a story. And so I took his images at our little meeting. I watched this video, and I said, "You have roughly like 12 shots in this. You need to rearrange the order." And I told him I told him why. And he called me later, and he said, "Oh, okay." And I said, "If I'm going to help you," I said, "I think that's how I need to be on, as a guy that can help you figure out a story in these projects." And so he called me like the next day, and he goes, "Well," he goes, I want to meet with you and see what I thought." And he goes, "I'll be honest, you really impressed me."
Very cool.
And he said, "I want you involved." And so we met, and he said, "I got to do a 4th of July video." And the guy liked my Memorial Day video, but he said he wants me to pull out all the stops. And so I went over to his house, and we sat down and talked about it, and we come up with I don't know, like 26 scene. So let me get this out of the way. This will be AI generated video.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Which is, I sent you those samples I've been watching. I dig the being able to type in a prompt and get a kind of a style.
I'm not a big AI guy. I have some issues with it when it comes to art,
Well,
but
yeah,
but
it's stealing art, but who
right.
cares?
Well,
I
yeah,
steal all the time. I've decided I am a big thief.
you're not allowed over to my house anymore, Ellis.
Yeah, no, it's like Wally Wood said about the
Well, I
easy way to do art is like, hey, make sure you're cribbing everything.
still it.
Yeah.
Well, I would say I don't know how the video works, but here's the thing: we couldn't do a video like we're getting ready to do. I mean, I'll go through it and show you all the scenes
Uh huh.
real quickly because I think it's cool. So
You couldn't do it
he
as quickly as you could
oh
with
okay
the
right okay so and it's patriotic. It's going to be I believe he's writing a version of the Star Spangled Banner. It's going to start off slow and low. We were talking about. I said, think about Stairway to Heaven. How it starts off and it's acoustic, and then it gets louder.
Uh huh.
That's what we're aiming towards. So it starts off, and you're going to see a hand signing the Declaration of Independence, and it's going to zoom out, and you're going to see the guys signing it.
Uh huh.
And then the scene is going to shift, and it's going to the Boston Tea Party, where they're
I'll,
showing.
I'll solo you.
Oh, okay. Where they're throwing tea into the ocean or the river,
Oh
the
yeah.
bay.
Uh huh.
Then it's going to go to a shot of colonial soldiers just shooting, basically,
Uh-huh.
just kind of just basically like that thumbnail.
That's just made for that AI, the way that I can visualize it. A little smoke will be the only thing animating there on that scene. And
Well, and I told him, I said all these shots should be black and white and grainy and in
uh-huh,
slow motion. Now that changes through the video. So then there's a scene trading with Indians. They're gonna be swapping fur,
uh-huh.
and then there's a wagon train going, to the right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. I tell you what, these thumbnails, I dig them. I dig
That's funny.
what we're getting out of looking at them close too. I dig that because that's you're forced into big shapes there.
Yeah, oh yeah. So a Civil War scene, and then it's the Gettysburg Address, and it's going to zoom in. I can't do it on my phone, but it's going to start
Yeah,
off with the ground. And it's going to zoom in on Lincoln talking, like right
sure.
on his face.
Right
Okay,
on
so
his big old
this
moly
big old
face.
noggin. Okay,
Yeah.
so then let's see which one's next. Oh, this is next. So then it's going to shift to Thomas Edison, and it's
Mm-hmm.
going to start off a close up on him, and then it's going to kind of pan out, and the light bulb's going to light up, and then it's going to show the Statue of Liberty, and it's going to be being built like in fast speed, and
Mm-hmm.
then when it's done, it's going to pan around the finished Statue of Liberty.
Oh, cool.
Then it's going to show the Wright brothers, and it's going to show the plane like zooming over whichever brothers on the beach, which nobody knows. They kept it secret.
They
Oh,
did.
also, yeah. Also, these shots are going to be black and white, slightly faster, and not as grainy.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's going to be the Great Depression, and you see this guy's going to have a newspaper that says "crash" as a headline,
Uh-huh.
and then it's going to pan across a crowd, and it's going to show a crowd of black people predominantly at a baseball game, and it's going to be a Negro League game
Uh-huh.
because that's big in the news now. So then it's
Is
going to
it?
show do
Is it?
what? Yeah,
Is
it
it?
is.
Okay.
Well, they just
I haven't been
they
news
just
following. Okay, go
they
ahead.
just they just took all the Negro League records and combined them with the MLB records.
Aha.
So this is going to show a scene of early Hollywood. Now this scene is going to start off black and white, but as it progresses, and all these scenes are like 4 seconds tops. As it progresses, it's going to turn into color.
Uh-huh.
So then, let's see what's next. Oh, then we show World War II, and there's going to be some guys walking through
Nice angle, a little Dutch angle there.
little
That'll
Dutch
be
angle
good.
there, and then they get swooped over by a thing of fighter jets or fighter planes.
Sure.
And then we're going to show a woman. It's going to be somebody welding, and when they lift up their helmet, you're going to see it's a woman welding, kind of
Mm-hmm.
the home front thing. And they're going to show Elvis, but you can't. I'm not going to call him Elvis. You're just going to see some guy shaking his hips, and all the girls in the background go crazy. And then we're going to show a '50s drag racing scene. I told him it should think of like American Graffiti, which
Yeah.
he was
Well,
like,
it
"Oh,
looks like you've channeled your favorite movie there.
Rebel Without a
James
Cause."
Rebel Without a
Yeah,
Cause.
exactly,
He's about to
exactly.
get his cuff caught up in the door handle.
Yep, it's going to fall to his death.
Was it
So
Buzz?
now,
Is that his name?
yeah, I
Buzz.
think maybe.
Buzz, I think.
So then we're showing our Buckminster Fuller. Now he's kind of the odd guy out, but the MTV guy, Buckminster Fuller, was his mentor, and I said we've got to add him to this.
I'll be. Huh,
You
how
know.
about that? Yeah.
So we're going to show him standing in front of a geodesic dome, which he invented. They're going to show a group of protesters on a campus, and it's kind of going to be like, is it civil rights? Is it Vietnam? We're kind of keep it kind of.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Okay. It went black for a split second. Uh-oh. Your sound went gooey. I know what happened. Someone called Scott. Scott has got a bug in his armor here that when he uses his phone and he gets a call, we lose Scott. And he's got to come back in, and I probably have to put him back in, insert him. Well, that gives you time to look at my wonderful Batman that I actually use pencils on this time. I have this segment titled A Banner Day. Some of you may have enough overlap with knowing of my little projects that had a project called DL and Odious over this past year, actually an entire year. And I got the last panel of it done today. And so I'm calling this the Banner Day that DL and Odious was completed. And I can't wait to get it out there, but I'm going to think about it a couple of different ways. I may put it out, actually I may lead with a motion comic versus a regular comic. I may just cut the frames up and leave the balloons out and just do the dialogue myself. Just for the heck of it, just to have that alternate version leading and then saying, hey, you like this? It'll just be a constant little thing. At the end of it, it'll say, get the comic. I guess I have to produce the comic as well, too. Otherwise, it doesn't work very well as a promo thing. I don't know if Scott's coming back. He may have broken something. Hopefully not his head. We'll see. But anyway, DL and Odious is one of the main prime example of what I call the inexorable X. And I got this from Jerry Seinfeld, who it seems like lately people have been interested in his notions about the way things works. After all, somebody gets incredibly rich from doing whatever they do. You kind of pay attention to that guy and what he thinks. Well, he just threw it away as just like, well, everybody should know this. Get a calendar, and every day that you do something here he is. Here he is. He's back. Let me get him on. There he is. He's back, I think. We'll see if the sound ever works. There's sound.
Okay. So here's the thing. I got a phone call while we were talking, and it was the guy.
He says, get that off the air.
What are you doing? Are you No. I can't turn my camera. Oh, there it is. I was talking to him.
Uh-huh.
And we're gonna meet Saturday again.
Groovy.
And I was hang on just a second. So yeah, and I was like, he's like, oh yeah, I started imaging today, and he goes, I've shown these to some people, and there's another artist that's kind of like part of the company, and that guy was like happy, everything seems to be good, and he goes, I love them, they look great. I said, am I giving you too much? He goes, no, too much is never enough. So I said, okay. Yeah. I said,
that's all you want as you go into a video project, is to like have as much of the materials, and what do they call it when you have a master shot and then you've got coverage.
Coverage,
yeah. They want everything they can get, because what film is that edit that goes on. That's when you build it all.
Yeah. Anyway, I apologize for bailing, but when I get a phone call, which I don't get that many phone calls, but when I get a phone call, it kicks me off StreamYard immediately.
Yes, yeah.
I
explained that is what probably happened, but then you were gone a while.
Well, because I told him, I go, hey, I can't talk for a long time because I told him I was on the other line. I didn't tell him I was live streaming, but
yeah, you didn't want him.
Well, yeah, it's just like it's just too much to explain.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean he was cool. So yeah, I mean if this comes, where was I at? Oh, I was with the protesters.
Yeah, you were. You were showing close-ups. Yeah,
so there's the protesters on campus, and then we're going to show the POWs, like the Vietnam POWs.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is always, I want to show like one side and then the other side. It's like these guys are protesting. These guys are actually like paying.
Yeah, that's the way it was. It seemed like back then too. Of course, now it seems like we're back. We know so many extra things about the way Vietnam was.
Oh,
It's like,
well, yeah.
yeah.
And
Go ahead. Go
again,
ahead.
this isn't a commentary, good or bad, or it's just this is like American history.
Oliver Stone, you'll have to the left and back, to the
To
left
the
and
left,
back. Just
yes,
do
it's
those or whatever
JFK.
that.
Okay, so here's my thought. We show the car going, and then we zoom in on the president's head. Don't
Mhm.
show a bullet, but just show the just symbolize it by a quick camera zoom. And then this is the moon landing. I didn't want to show the thing. My thing is just show the moon surface, then show a boot hitting the ground and a little bit of dust.
That's the one that, yeah, I dig that. I like that as a great POV shot. If I remember right, that's practically the way they had it set up.
Maybe.
His foot coming down, yeah.
So
And,
this is hippies at Woodstock, and
yeah.
I filled this out thinking about you, Ellis.
All
Hippies
right.
frolicking in the mud.
I'm like Rush Limbaugh. Hippies were something that I wasn't, and for that reason, they were like
Yeah,
scary hostility came from me with
that,
regard to hippies.
that's why I put them in the mud.
Yep. Go ahead.
70s gas lines. I mean that
Stretching into the distance.
stretching
I
of
remember
this.
that, boy. I tell you what. Hey, let me see that. That's a really nice. No, no, yeah,
Oh,
that one. It's a really nice little thumbnail notation vocabulary there. I like that
what's
a lot.
bizarre is I look at these and I go, God, my drawing is so terrible. They're gonna go,
No, it's
get out
not.
of here.
No, no. I tell you what.
Well,
If that was to be blown up 20 times size, everybody'd go, "Ooh, this guy needs to paint." You know, it's
instead
really
of draw
good.
this crap.
No, no, no. I mean, no. It is your what that is forcing is a distillation of your composition skills, and it's nice.
Well, I mean, I'm drawing these, pretty small,
Uh huh. Sure.
and that's the idea. I mean, I most of these I've drawn in one night,
Hmm.
So I mean, maybe an hour and a half on a
Sure.
page. Now this one I didn't get drawn because I mean, this is 30 minutes,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Wow. See, now that's another thing. Speed for a guy trying to do that job, that task is essential. You know the.
Well, I tell you what's saving them is the grayscale.
Uh huh. Yeah. Sure.
I've got a couple things that are putting gray down. I'm using a jelly roll to get some, and I got some opaque here.
Little
So
highlights.
little disco with the
Hmm.
the multicolor thing. I'm
Hmm.
gonna do the Challenger, but I want to get some reference because I don't know what the Challenger
Yeah.
rocket looked like off the top of my head.
Well, just that that.
Got this big cylinder and
Well, the
yeah.
iconic thing of you're going to do the blow up moment, aren't you? Isn't that what you're
Well,
doing?
well, here's
Because
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have it take off past you, and then when it goes in the
ah,
sky, you're gonna see it. I want to show it like in fact, maybe not even show it explode. I don't
well,
know.
it's got that iconic gas
Yeah,
cloud, that just part of
yeah,
that time, that everybody thinks about how there's the gas going to the one part and there's the gas going to the other part.
yep.
Yep.
Anyway, and so now I'm drawing the LA riots. So I want a guy in
Uh,
the foreground holding the TV.
yeah.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered. It wouldn't be a flat screen.
No, it wouldn't. No.
And so I'm going to draw somebody carrying something out of a window.
Yeah, I have one of the stores called Reginald Denny's something. I don't know.
Is it Busted Head Cafe?
Yeah, yeah, busted head.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. What a horrible thing,
yeah.
just I mean
There.
the whole thing was horrible. I
Yeah, the
mean,
whole thing was horrible, but it was kind of like a preview of where we are today. It's like
it kind of was, man. I
yep.
mean, everything old is new
It's
again.
it's it's ready to. There's people out there that's like that's what all they're waiting for. It's like they're waiting for their sporting event to occur.
Oh, dude,
It's the season that's about to occur again, and
I'm
it's
reading
ready. Go ahead.
I'm reading Hip Hop Family Tree,
Uh
and
huh.
it's talking about how during the during the mid '70s, hip hop was kind of coming around, and it says like, yeah, several guys had like really good sound systems, and they would do like their records and stuff, and then all of a sudden the blackout happened. All these guys that couldn't get audio equipment went out and stole it during the blackout. And so the next day, like, there were hundreds of new DJs out there.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, all of a sudden it's like, hey man, listen to this sweet turntable I got.
Yeah, yes, tables. Yes. Yep. Anyway.
Echo in the canyon. Yep.
Yep. Anyway, that's what I'm up to nowadays. Doing my nonsense.
Well, I'm really it seems so groovy to, but I tell you what, you want to talk about proof of trickle down. This is you, because you know somebody that has got a little stroke and has managed to do a few things in life. All of a sudden, it's trickling down to you.
Yeah.
And that's the way I always got jobs. Somebody had enough money to hire the guy that really didn't bring much to the I'm talking about myself.
Oh, okay.
I always had imposter syndrome. Every decent job I ever had, I always had imposter syndrome. But I still wouldn't have had those great jobs if it hadn't been for trickle down.
Yeah, I mean, no, I've never been hired by a poor person.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I'll say this. I only have this job, and it's not a job yet because I ain't got a dime.
Yeah, sure.
But I only had this opportunity. Let's call it an opportunity. I only had this opportunity because the guy that I know that knows this guy that got me the deal works at Walmart, and he's like the greeter at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because I'd go in and I'd talk to the guy.
Yep.
And I happened to see him at an art supply store, and I'm like, "Oh, are you an artist?" And he's a painter, and he saw my art, and he's like, "I want you involved in this project," you know.
Mm-hmm.
Or this company really is what it is. And he only has it because he was on the city council with the guy that's the MTV guy in North Carolina. They were buddies, and and now the guy's doing a thing, and he's like, hey, he happened to get on Facebook, and this guy reached out to him, was like, hey, I got this new thing brewing, I want you to be part of it. And the guy that called me, his son, he told me, he said, I've looked for an opportunity like this for 35 years. He said, I've wanted, because his big thing is being a musician. And he said, I've worked 35 years to become a musician. And so my thing is, it's not even, I mean, Ellis, if I don't make a dime off of this, it's not going to impact my life.
It's going to be a cool experience, though.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. This is what they mock people for saying. But Adam Carolla always said, hey, get in. I mean, you just and they do mock these opportunities. They mock them as that. Where people aren't offering money.
People die of exposure. Well,
yeah.
But I mean, and that's true. I think you have to be careful. You have to go into something with your eyes open.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've had people promise me money in deals that they haven't given me money. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
I mean.
No. This is exciting for the sake of thinking about what can be if it's somebody with the juice and the connections to.
It's
to
just
make it happen.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, if they, and I told him, I said, when I met with him, I said, if you decide, hey, man, we don't need this guy, that's fine. No hard feelings. I understand. I don't want to bootstrap into a situation, but I think I can contribute. And this is what I told him. I said, I think I can contribute. And I said, I think you would benefit from somebody that would help you. You can do these nice AI videos, but if they tell a story, it's going to mean so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And I can help you with that. And so I went over his house and we were talking. And I said, well, here's what we need to do. And I thought about it. I kind of told him my idea was to do a big history thing, and he's like, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And Ellis, I'm a history buff. I rattled off 25 of these things without even thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're paying attention and you are the guy that does keep up with current events, you've got a sense of how things went down,
Yeah, and and so I don't know. I mean, I think it's cool. I hope it. I mean, I hope we make bajillion dollars out of the deal. I don't know if there's even an opportunity to monetize this little deal, but I just hope it for myself. Well, for Michael, the other guy, the guy's doing all the work, or the hard work. I hope it really like cements them where it's like, yeah, this guy's the real deal. And I hope for me they decide, well, we need him as part of the team, and then at that point I can go, well, I my free time is not free. That's when I can decide. Well, I enjoyed it, but I mean, I need to make. We need to work on something commercial if you want me to be involved.
No, and that's they should be totally ready for that.
Yeah. But I told him, I said, I think, because he goes, well, how do you see this thing? And I said, dude, we don't know if we'll ever get another. I said, we're at bat, and they're throwing us the ball. They want us to do a big 4th of July video. We should do everything we can to hit it out of the park.
Have you seen any examples of the kind of AI that he's bringing up? I guess you have, because you saw the one.
I saw the 4th of July one. Yeah, and I don't know if it's anywhere online. I don't know if they ever used it. I saw it on his Google Drive.
Well, cool.
I'm doing grayscale with a water brush filled with water and ink.
Oh, that's cool.
Just
which brand of water brush are you using?
Stadler.
Stadler, okay.
Yeah, and it is just, I just want to put a little bit of, just to make things pop.
A
little tone, yeah.
Did you mix your own ink levels?
I filled it with water, and I just put a little ink in it.
A couple of drops of ink, huh?
Yeah. And
those usually don't work very well for me. Does it and yours, you're pretty, it looks good. I have very dissatisfactory results with those water brushes. Yeah, I must be doing something wrong.
I'll show you a trick.
Okay.
I discovered this by accident. I got a Wolf's Carbon pencil, and say if I want like his jeans to be dark, I'll come in and I'll put a little bit of this Wolf's Carbon on there. And then you take the water brush, and when you do it, it kind of like dissolves.
Picks that carbon up and uses it.
Yeah, see how much darker it is now?
Yeah.
And so I'll probably do that on parts of this, and it actually like sticks to it a little bit. So
sure. And then that sort of confidence to move around with tone is just one of those things that's like, if you think about it, it's like thinking about anything too hard. You'll stultify yourself, whereas if you just do it, it's like it just comes out of you right.
Yeah, I don't dare think about it.
Yeah.
See, and I'll put a little bit up here, and I'll kind of gray it so it looks kind of like I want it to look like dusk maybe, or nighttime. And see, it kind of, and I mean, that's, that right there is good. I think. I mean.
No. Yeah, like I say. Yeah.
So I mean that panel's done. Put a little color in the TV screen.
So you saw it here. How quick Scott works.
Yeah, I mean, and what's funny is I'm using to draw them. I used a bunch of different stuff. The thing that seems to be working best is like a Dixon Ticonderoga. It's just like a number 2 pencil, but it erases, and it's like a good. It doesn't gouge up the paper. It doesn't give me any problems, So, and it erases. So that's what I'm using, and it goes down fast.
Yep.
So scene 28 is the O.J. Simpson chase.
Oh boy, that is something. You are when you do Kennedy and when you do O.J.'s chase, you are asking the question. where were you when this happened? Because
Yep.
everybody's got that sort of it will be those little highlights of our experience. You know,
So
you pick them right. Everybody will understand what you're doing.
so 29 is the OKC bombing.
Yes.
30 is 9/11. I don't know if I should do two panels for 9/11. I think what I want to do is just so somebody, I don't want to show it falling. I think I want to show somebody covered in dust walking away from that. You know how when it fell, it had that real distinctive lattice look. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I think that's what I want to show. There's a guy trudging away. And then 31 is COVID, and I'm just going to show people in masks.
Yeah,
Maybe.
oh yeah, that's a pretty interesting way to go. Yeah,
Well,
all
and
these
here's the
all these
thing.
people
So like
masked up.
40 is a flag, and it's going to end on this. And my idea is, Ellis, that it shows you the start of America, and it shows some of our good times, some of our bad times, and I think it kind of ends on a down note. I think it ends on this idea of we have taken a bad turn. I am convinced that after 90 that the 21st century has been terrible for America. Now I'm not putting that in here as such, but we're still America, so it's like okay, it's still going to end on like this hopeful flag waving kind of thing, you know.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, it's one of those things where, oh, you're a partisan, huh? Thing. But yeah, I'm with you on that. It's like it only got good for the government, and
yeah.
if you were at all, if you, s- that's the deal. You're getting this big notion today that if the government is doing well, you're doing well, and that's not
It's
what
worse than
happens. It
that.
does not follow.
It's not the government, it's the people in the government that are doing well.
Uh huh.
It's the bureaucratic class that's doing
Yeah.
well, you know.
Hmm. Yep.
Well, I mean I really, and I've read some books about this. I really had this idea in my head that after the I don't know if it was 9/11, but after the turn of the century, something happened in our country. And I don't know what it
Hmm.
is exactly. And I don't
Well,
think
I
I don't
think
think we've recovered from it.
I think the people that amount to be in the that particular class, the left, they realized they looked around, they put some cautious feelers out, and they realized there's nobody to stop us, and it just went balls to the wall at that point. And
Maybe,
it's like
maybe.
at that point it's like they just realized there was why are we being conservative about doing whatever the hell we feel like doing.
Yeah. Well, and I think I mean you focus a lot on the government. I think it's more than the government, but
Oh
I
yeah,
think
we lost the culture war definitely. Yeah.
well, yeah. I just think as a society, we just went down the crapper,
Hmm.
you know. And it's unfortunate because I think that America is kind of a big tent or however you want to think of that, and
Yeah.
and there was a lot of but I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to get all
Yeah,
into
we don't want
that.
to get too political, I guess.
No, I'll get kicked off of YouTube and everything. So my idea on the OJ
You know,
Simpson thing,
this is your place for those comments, so that you can. I'll just get canceled. I'm not
yeah,
monetized anyway.
yeah. Hey, 853 followers, man. I'm
Not bad.
closing in on I'm closing in on the magic 1,000, man.
Yep.
So on the OJ Simpson thing, I don't want to show him. You see the helicopter shot. I
Hmm.
want to show it from the ground as he's going through a neighborhood.
Uh huh.
You know,
Well, you need it to be iconic, kind of like, and you're doing such good little shorthands for vehicles and stuff. You'd want to get all those cop cars lined up trailing him. I don't know.
Well, I only made one panel. I mean, I could, I'll,
Okay, well, I mean,
again,
you do your instincts, but
well, I mean, it's he's not really. I don't know. I'm very curious to see how this works. I am very curious about how close he sticks. I told him I'm going to draw him. You do what you can do. If you can't get something, if something won't make, then move on.
yeah.
Don't kill yourself trying to get something
Oh,
correct.
that AI, if he's good at it, he'll be able to give you what you put down there.
Yeah, I don't know. I am very curious to see how this works.
You can make it scrape based on he can input your image and say
He's
adhere
not
to.
stealing my image.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
Wait, no, yes, he's anyway. So the OKC bombing. I just want to show a pan around the building.
Mm-hmm.
9/11. I think 9/11. I'm going to do that thing where it's like, remember that it was like that, and just I remember a guy trudging with a briefcase in his hand, covered with dust, just trudging down this apocalyptic-looking street.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a YouTube channel, I think I bookmarked it, that has a solid feed from that day
Oh
of,
gosh.
with all the things that they got wrong and all that kind of stuff. And that's a valuable thing to have. It's like have it as it happened. It's like don't forget all these things that happened, all the horrors we caught. I'm always surprised at things that occur spontaneously that doesn't sound like how bad you think things are, because there was this moment where the people that were jumping
Yeah.
were splatting, and apparently it was just a horrific sight to see what it looked like after they'd hit. Oh, no, but the one that really stood out to me was the firefighters were in there and a news crew was in there, and the elevator doors open, and a guy that was just basically burned up came, slowly out. And these guys that ordinarily their instincts would be to show, oh my goodness, look at this. They couldn't point the camera at him.
Oh yeah.
It was just too bad.
I've
It's like, it's like that sort of empathy level you wouldn't think, but at that point it was like the empathy was high at that point.
Yeah.
We said, man, this is happening to all of us.
Yeah. So I don't know if I've ever told you the story. I was in New York City one time, and Michelle was in one of her meetings, and so I was kind of just roaming the streets of the city, and I was down by the bus station, and the sidewalk traffic just stopped, and I'm like, what in the world? So I kind of make my way through there, and I realize that people are stopped because there's an ambulance in the middle of the street, and I get up there, and I get on my phone because I'm like, I'm gonna record I'm gonna record this,
Whatever
and I
it
get
is,
out my phone, and it's a woman, and they're putting her in the back of the ambulance, and she's not injured, but she's screaming, and I was like, something is so wrong with that woman. I couldn't bring myself to video it. I was
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, and it seems like you want to talk about the way things have changed. Somebody'd be shooting that nowadays and almost like yucking it up, and that seems like the way the culture has gone. It's like the empathy level and the humanity level has been sapped out of us by social media.
Yeah. I was off social media when I was on vacation, and it was great. I found I don't really want to get back on it much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like,
No,
'cause
it's good. You'll feel it as a physical difference in your system, and it doesn't take but about one day.
yeah,
You want to talk about your attention span coming right back to where you can all of a
do
sudden
stuff.
write an essay and read a book. Get off
Oh,
social
yeah.
media. You know.
Yep. It was funny. So I drew this flag. I had the hardest time drawing stars. I don't know why.
Uh-huh.
I screwed every one of those up.
But what's fun about that is your consistent screw up all of a sudden becomes again that language, the vocabulary of your
Language of a
there's
moron.
a Sackett star.
Yeah.
No, I know that sort of anything requiring geometric precision and consistency is going to give you. I had to draw that motorcycle 100 times in Dio and
Oh yeah.
Odious. It's like,
How'd that
oh,
go?
what the hell did I get myself into?
No. I did draw a comic story one time where a guy was riding a bike through a good big chunk of it, like a
Yeah.
10 speed. Oh my
Uh,
gosh. It's just like a weird kind of thing,
It's like if it's not semi well measured and well balanced as and with wheels that look roundish, it will bug you,
And there's
take
and
you
there's
out
not
of it.
there's not a lot to a bike.
Uh-uh.
It's just like, and if you don't know, and when I was a kid I had a bike, but I have a 10 speed, so it's like I don't really know off the top of my head how all the tubes go. And so it's like, what's this look like?
I've gotten maybe a little friendlier with some of these kids that have been bugging me around here a little bit,
Yeah.
and I think I'll introduce them at some point. If one of them is being a kid and decides to be dumb and says something to me, I'll say, 60 years ago here I was doing what you're doing, riding my bicycle up and down this street, and you know what we did? We did a wheelie all the way around the block. That became our big challenge. We actually did take our Stingrays and managed to do a wheelie around the block.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I've seen your block. It's pretty windy.
Yeah, it's pretty windy, and we did that. And if I do that and put that in their head, I may be able to kill a couple of them.
I was going to say you're trying to get them to die. Oh my gosh! Now we are getting demonetized.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. That won't hurt them to
No. Just even if they fall,
to
they'll
go
be
down
fine.
a couple of times. I mean, you got to learn how to
Take a
kick
fall.
out of a wheelie. Whatchamacallit,
A bicycle
Nah.
wreck,
yeah,
a horrible
yeah,
accident.
Yeah, kick out of a wheelie. Yeah.
Anyway, so this is what I've been working on. What I'm still working on. We're
Cool.
We're
Exciting.
yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, if this looks a tenth as good as it looks in my mind, I won't say in my storyboards. In my mind, it's going to be freaking awesome.
I think it will.
Excuse me. Sorry.
It's all right. I meant to send you that. Find a link, and I still haven't found it, of a guy that shows his exact procedure. It was incredibly simple of how he's doing all these fantastic. One of the main prompts he always enters is 1950 70 Panavision. For some reason, that gives you an exact look that just a ton of these things, these reimaginings of these old, our current
Like
films.
Star Wars.
Star Wars, Predator,
How-
anything you want to do, that's the deal. If you type in 50s Panavision, you can do the Homer Simpson looking like what they might have done in the 50s with a big budget. Cat, I'm not going to get up and feed you.
I heard an animal. I thought it was my dog. That must have been your cat.
It's my cat. Comes up and says, "Hey, what about me? I haven't eaten anything in an hour."
You and your cats.
Oh, me and my cats, man. I set up a little. I was wanting to trap all the kittens and take them in all at once in one big fell swoop. But you know how hard it was going to be to catch any kittens, so I had to think, what am I going to do to get them all at once? And then I thought, a net. I said,
A
I don't have
net?
a, I don't, yeah, I don't have a
A
net.
net?
I don't have a net, but I have a sheet. And if I have a sheet that I arrange on a bit of cardboard as an armature for it, I can run out and scoop them all up in a big sack and then put them in a tub.
Yeah. How'd this little dream go?
No, it didn't work out too well. I got up this morning ready to do it, and I peeked out in the garage door, and there was always just like 3 or 4 of them just on the edge of the trap, to where they were obviously going to be able to clear off before I could spring it. And it's like almost like a like that lookout effect. It's almost like they were saying, "Now
Hey.
we'll just get right out here to where nobody can possibly sneak up on us." But I've got another one. I'm going to just do the classic drop trap. I'm going to have it all arranged, put the food out, and pull the string, and kapow!
Just like
I'll
Wile E.
have,
Coyote.
yeah, I'll have the tub drop on them. Yeah,
And where are you taking these cats?
to that right next to your work.
Oh, when are you doing this?
I don't know. Whenever
Oh.
I can actually pull
This,
it off.
I gotcha.
Oh, I was
And
going to.
now, what are you gonna? What's the point of? I'm kind of confused. What are you doing with the? I mean, I know what you're doing with them, but what are you doing with them?
Just giving them to them. I'm getting them out of my sphere and
Oh,
giving them to theirs. What they do is they get them adopted. They won't be around me, and they'll have a good somebody that hopefully takes care of them for the rest of their life. You know,
I
versus
gotcha.
living outdoors with me. What else? But I also need the 2 mamas in again, or I'll just have the population boom all over again. So I've got to grab them too. I may.
Yeah.
I'd like to bring at least one, because it's interesting. They're sisters, and they have been raising their kids together. And
Yeah.
apparently, the little kittens make no distinction who they are suckling from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that way. It's like, hey, mom too.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah. Hey, whatever you want to
holy.
say about titties right at the moment.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, nipples and titties. That sounds vulgar. I guess it is.
Yeah. Well, I think it kind of was
I think
vulgar.
it usually is considered vulgar. Yeah. Come to think
Yes.
of it. Sorry.
I was listening to the radio the other day, and I was listening to Travis and Buck.
Hmm.
The who they are, the replacements, such as they are for Rush Limbaugh,
Oh.
and one of them said that he was playing basketball against his son, and his son was kind of giving him the business because he was beating him, and so he looks at me and goes, "Well, I slept with your mom," and he said it was the classic grade school burn, but it was even worse because it was true.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? A book I've got to at some point own, just as reference on how to do it. We've talked about humor and joke abilities before. That you've got a lot of jokes in your back pocket, having to
Mm-hmm.
start meetings here every now and then. This Joel McHale book called "Thanks for the Money," which is basically, he's telling the story of his life. This is a little bio book. It is funny. If you want to know how to, like, do a wind up, a setup, and a payoff, this little book is just full of them.
So I
And
got to.
go
Oh,
ahead. Go
well, I
ahead.
was gonna say I got a joke for you, Ellis.
Okay, good. Let's hear it.
So the guy, it's kind of late at night, and the guy's driving. He's in a pickup truck,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden, lights come on behind him, and he gets pulled over. It's a state trooper.
Uh-huh.
State trooper goes, "I'm pulling you over because your taillights are out." The guy looks in the rear view mirror and starts screaming. The guy goes, "Sir," or the cop goes, "Sir, calm down." He said, "It's just a minor violation. I'm a righteous citation. You can go get it fixed, take the receipt to the judge, and he'll probably waive the whole thing." And the guy goes, "No, you don't understand. My wife was riding in the trailer." Anyway.
Well, yeah, that's a. There you go. You set it up, and you.
Yep. Yes.
He's got some good ones in where he talks about, head injuries when he was a kid.
Oh gosh.
he's got some really interesting instances of how many times.
Is that the guy that was on Talk Soup?
Well, you know what? I looked that up, and let me see if I can find. Oh, there it is. Oh, wait a second. I've got it written all down here somewhere. Here we go. These names.
I don't know
will
what
come
to
back
draw
to you.
for. What should I draw for COVID?
I think people in
Well-
masks like you thought.
Well, it's funny. I wanted to. I forgot and I skipped it. I wanted to draw some people at church. Maybe I should draw a guy. That's what I should draw. I should draw a minister. I can do him with a in front of a pulpit with a cross behind him, and he's wearing a mask. Perfect.
Wearing a mask and being arrested. Don't leave that out.
Yes.
Okay, now this is interesting. See, I said, how many people were part of the whole soup thing? Early on, the guy that really broke out and became a big star was Greg Kinnear, who went on and made several movies. Then they had a guy named Hal Sparks, who was
That's the guy I'm thinking of.
Yeah, and then there's a guy named John Henson, and those two guys looked a lot alike. But Joel McHale is the guy that was in Community, but by the time he took it over, and he did very well at it, it was called just The Soup. And it was a different show officially, in terms of like corporate wise, it had changed into The Soup instead of Talk Soup.
Gotcha.
But I did do a search on those names, and every time I saw a name, I said, "Oh, yeah, I remember when that guy's era was in it." And it didn't seem like I watched it, just like regularly or anything. But
I just would catch it when it was on.
Yeah, yeah.
It was usually funny. I mean,
yeah, it was. Yeah, the format is just like what YouTube isn't anymore. It's like make a short where you emphasize.
Uh-oh. Ellis?
Both out.
Oh, there we are. We're back. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
You disappeared for a second. I don't know what happened.
Well, I saw that. Mine went black too. I'm used to you going black, but I went black. I guess we had a glitch. Might be storming out for all I know.
Oh, you know what? It's supposed to be. Let me look out the window.
What does it look like
I
out
think
there?
Nothing bad. It was cloudy, but there's no rain or anything. Dude, I'm about done with my storyboards.
Excellent. Well, see.
I am going to do the one I'm going to show for the COVID. I'm going to show some people at church with masks on.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll kill, because I was like, I want to do something, to show that America, is founded on Christian principles, which not really founded on Christian principles in what I'm showing, but so I want to show a guy. I'm going to show a guy preaching, and some people behind him, and they're going to be socially distancing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a gap between them. Not much of a gap, but it's a gap.
Well, that sounds like something that people will get the moment they see it. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
You're, like you say,
And
you're
then I'm
telling
gonna
that
show-
story.
I'm going to show a cross behind them so you know it's a church. Yeah. Hey! And now all I got to do is get my Challenger reference and I'm done.
Challenger.
Yeah.
Oh, the vehicle.
Yeah, I want to get some reference to see what the boosters look like more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm just about to wind up. I've probably got an hour left of listening to that Andy Weir book,
Anvil? No, what's it called?
Hail Mary.
Oh, Hail Mary. I don't know why I come with Anvil. Sorry.
Anvil, did you say?
I said Anvil, like the band.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
If you've ever seen the documentary.
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's about this band called Anvil that everyone's like, they should have been big, and they're not big. And they go on a European tour. It's about like a real life Spinal Tap. So they get tapped to go to this European tour, and like every place they go, there's like not the hotel room they were promised isn't ready, and it's like, well, sleeping in the van again, and he gets back and he's like, I've toured for 6 weeks, I made $30, or something like that. It's like and he works at a.
Remember why we don't do this? Yep.
Yeah, he works at a place where he delivers meals to like elderly people, like Meals on Wheels kind of or something. And he's like, yeah, I'm back at my job. I like my job. It's okay, but I'd rather be rocking.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, being paid for what you like doing is quite a trick.
Yes, one day I hope to master it.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I'm happy that I got this done.
You're done,
almost.
And we've been at it 56 minutes.
Have we? Okay.
We could think about wrapping.
We could end it all right now.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The hardest part for these is I write these little descriptions telling what's going on. It's like,
yeah.
Do I got to write that? Come on. You know what happens.
Hey, look at this. You've got somebody wants to know why you're doing that instead of the black cricket. Says, guys, what's the haps? Is his first comment. Working overtime, but taking a break, just seeing what is going on.
Oh, yeah, they've been working him to death, man.
Overtime ends this weekend, so I start a new black cricket next week.
Oh, that'd be perfect. I'm done with this. Perfect.
Right now, I am working, sleeping, and working some more. I remember that. That's called crunch time, yeah.
Yeah, I called Dan the other day and talked to him for a little bit, and I think I used up his supper break in talking to him.
Yeah, I've forgotten what all that feels like. I'm so happy for me that I've forgotten what it feels like.
Yep, I'm ready to start the next chapter whenever Dan is, for sure. For sure. I've decided I'm gonna go back to drawing the pages big, Ellis.
Oh,
I decided that I just don't like.
For black cricket. I was going to say,
cricket.
don't change what you're doing on those storyboards.
Oh God, no! I'm about done.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like what? No. Anyway, I think I'm gonna draw big. I think it's not that I think it matters, other than I think my pencils look better. But I mean, Jeff, he does them digitally, so it doesn't really matter to him,
Yeah,
but,
no.
But I think it does to me. So.
No, well, I'm sure Jeff is totally on board with the idea of, again, just like that coverage, having something arrive that is something to work with, just a little more to work with.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought. Again, on my little break, I've been drawing a lot. It's like, I should really draw these big.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really save anything, except I've convinced myself they're faster, but I don't know if that's actually the case.
Well, I mean, again, you may get a little more rendery by working bigger.
That is my thought, is that if I work bigger, it might be rendered a little bit better.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a couple things. I got no bad habit of putting hatching in the background of almost every panel. It's like I'm gonna stop doing that.
Yeah, don't do that. I mean, that is the thing that will happen to you if all of a sudden you got this big old volume that all of a sudden you're just filling.
Yeah, no. I need to leave more open space. I was looking at my pages and some other stuff, and I was like, I'm not really doing this the right way, I don't think.
Dan says talking shop gives me as much fuel as food.
Yeah, yeah.
We just can't lose Jeff to Ben.
No, so
Got to run, guys. Talk to you soon. Okay.
see you, Dan. Yeah, so Ben Dunn of Antarctic Press is talking about he's looking for an inker, so we may lose our inker, which would suck.
That guy's good too.
He is good, and I think it would change the look of the book if I were to ink it myself for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be transparent. There are things I would do differently, and I don't know that that's the best. You know.
No, I think that guy was a perfect mate to your pencils in terms of like.
He got a good look out of it for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and again, there, I mean, you know how it is when someone else touches your stuff. You're like,
Sure.
That's not how I would have done it. But that doesn't mean it's bad. In fact, it could mean the opposite. And that's kind of how I took a lot of that stuff. It's like, it's not really how I would have done it, but it looks pretty good.
Yep.
You know. And I think it's only fair that you look at that stuff objectively and go, where he's landing. I mean, it's not when I look at it, I go, well, it's not how I would have done it. But where he lands, I think looks pretty good. So maybe that's okay, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or that's my theory.
1 hour. Dan checked in, and
look at that,
that's
man.
fun.
Look at that. I'm done.
Yeah.
Maybe
Wow.
I'll probably noodle with a little bit more, but
When you bailed out, I mentioned to the crowd that I've got this one titled "A Banner Day." It's because I finished DL and Odious today. I did the last panel,
oh, nice.
so it is a banner day for me. So
Oh,
I
what are you
mentioned
doing?
a couple little trivia things about. Well, I've got a lot left to do on DL and Odious, but the artwork, it's like principal photography is done.
Oh, yeah.
If you were to talk it as a movie.
Gotcha.
So I've got all the work done. Now it's
Nice.
just put it out there. Well, just like putting out my opus book.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well.
hey, I really appreciate. I don't know if you did notice that. I think that I sent out your review and put it on Twitter.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, we didn't. Well, it's kind of cool. I put your review on Twitter, and I have only got 2 reviews, but I put you and Barry's review on Twitter, and used that as a little thing. Got a lot of little likes on it. That's cool.
Oh, that's good.
So I got some eyes on it.
Nice. Very cool, Ellis. I hope you sell
A
bajillion copies.
couple more
more
copies.
copies. Well, I mean, it's,
No, it's just waiting for me to say, figure out how to sell it and stick to it.
No doubt. No doubt.
Okay, you ready to end it?
I'm ready to end it all.
Okay. What's the name of that movie with that